And we're back with some more oxygen not included. And today in this achievement run, I've got focus on my side because I know what we need to do. What we need to do is we need to get our hands on a telescope so that we can start scanning for surrounding planets. We need to find a planet with lead, oil, and preferably Drecos as well, or a swamp biome that'll give us reed fiber. We need the lead to make radiation suits. We need the reed fiber to make atmosuits, and we need the oil to make plastic. Or Drecos will cover a couple of those bases. They can give us both reed fiber and plastic. However, we have lots of other little quirks and things we need to take care of first. For example, when it comes to lights, last I checked, they'd not only increased a bunch of normal things, they also increased eating speed. So if we put a light right there, we can increase the eating speed of our dupes. So that has got to go, and we'll stick in a light there. We installed a couple of lights there. That should mean they'll eat faster. Well, it did last I checked. And we've also installed lights in the bathrooms because they can use the bathrooms faster in the light, which sort of makes sense when you think about it. Down here, we're putting in... People advise me to put in a door here to block off the eggs from the fish so the fish can't sense the eggs. For a while, we had plenty of space and all that, but at some point we may not, so we might as well give ourselves a bit. Unfortunately, that involved entombing a few pacu, but... well, you know what? We can always make some more, cooked fish. It'll be fine. Right now, our calories, though, are pretty good. Pretty good, so I'm just not going to bother killing those fish. They can time out after a while. All right, research is done on telescopes. So we're going to get our hands on material study terminal and rad bolt generators. We're going to need both of those. There's just a few technologies we're going to need to knock out if we want to explore other planets efficiently. Now, we can go up here and we can delete those two blocks. This is where we're going to put our telescope. We're going to stick that sucker right there. Though, you know what? We're going to need a ladder up as well. Thing is, we need to prevent the radiation damage. Our pawn that's going to be in there is going to get radiated to all hell. It's like, 375 rads out here, and that's not really blocked very well by this telescope. So what we want to do is actually put a few blocks above here. This is where the duplicate is considered to be. In fact, I'll show you when we get him in. But for now, we're also going to need oxygen to go into that. I'm thinking simplest thing to do is stick a gas pump right there because, well, a bunch of gas is escaping out of there. And we can just speed that along by throwing a copper wire right about there. And then that's aluminum, meet that up. Done. Of course, we still have to stick in some gas piping, but that shouldn't be too hard. You know, while all that's going on, we should probably queue up a bunch of rad pills. Yeah, give us another 5 or 6 of those, I think. I'm thinking some people are going to get glowy eyes if we're not too careful. Oh, while they're doing all of this over here, we are collecting some rads over here. We're getting all the Wheeze wart seeds they have, and we're actually collecting even more. We dug up a couple there, we got access to another one over there, and there was 2 more lying around the place over here. And we're going to dump them all into the conveyor loader and send them back to our home base. Namely because we're going to need them to generate rads once we get the relevant research. And yeah, you can see here, the radiation is 375 out there, and just in there it's only 60. Do we need a third block? You know what, we'll put in a third block anyway, just to be safe. Finish off the ladders, you might as well. Though we're probably going to have to remove these blocks here. They're going to interfere with the telescope. And we'd like to... Yeah, Martinez, whatever. We need to get you onto the consuming. Yeah, you need access to rad pills, buddy. You don't look so good. Okay, Chris, you can also gain access to rad pills. And yeah, all right, we'll leave it at that for now. Those two can grab... Anyone who gets green eyes can go grab some rad pills. Oh, and one great thing about this open pan electrolyzer, it's actually giving us a little bit of oxygen out here so people can grab some oxygen on the way. It just means you don't have to run back inside every time. And finally the gas pump goes in. That will pump the oxygen up there and into this enclosed telescope. Now, this enclosed telescope should reveal 4 tiles around us. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we should be able to see what that planet is, and we should be able to see what that planet is. We can't really put one on Cortrelia. The reason being is, well, the top of the planet's covered in magma. So, yeah, we can't... We won't be getting out there anytime soon. I mean, I suppose we could... No. That would just lead to a whole bunch of scalded dupes. Now, Zap here is... Where is there? There they are. If we check on their absorbed rad dose, they're actually currently exposed to 12 rads a cycle. And the reason for that is these blocks here. I know they don't look like they're there, but that's where they entered the building, so that's where they're classified as being. So as you can see, it's 24 rads per cycle is what's actually getting through after all those bricks. But then once it passes that, this actual telescope itself absorbs half of it. So it absorbs 50% of the radiation, meaning they're only getting exposed to 12, which is acceptable. If we didn't have that there, they would be exposed to about... Well, 375 divided by 2. So let's leave them to their job. It's going to take them a while. That star map. Yeah, you can see there where they're filling it out. You can't actually change where they go, though. They seem to just have... Or do they? Can we actually say just scan that next? No, they just do their own thing. They'll scan around this in a circle and it reveals the next 2 squares away from it. But hey, good for us. Now, down here, we're trying to expand on this water tank just a little bit. We need somewhere to store all of this salt water that keeps showing up. This is just sort of a temporary storage tank for the salt water in this area, so we can clear this area out. I want to put in a material study terminal around here, and I think we'll probably put the rads over here and the material study terminals up here. There's going to be so much research in the next while. Speaking of research, how are we doing? We've already got a material study terminal up, and all we need now is the rad bolt generator to go with it. Perfection. Oh, that means that can go up there a little bit more, and we might as well get rid of all of that water up there. With this place all cleared out, we're ready to put in the material study terminal, but not quite yet. There is one more thing I'd like to do. We keep having to deconstruct this water tank to get ourselves a big container of water so that it can be used in the supercomputer so we can do our research. I want to actually branch off just a little bit of clean water to feed directly into it. Well, not so much directly into it, but you'll see what I mean. Oh, and another thing of note, this hydrogen generator is no longer required. The reason being the powered outputs is actually connected up here to this transformer, which runs off the main grid. So, yeah, this can go. Hey, we could use the resources anyway. Oh, gate activation. Let's see what we got. Oh, more salt water. Wonderful. Actually, we could use another dupe. You know, looking at these ones, this is the worst dupe I've seen in a long time. Mouth breather and noodle arms. But, hey, rocketry, tidying, and building. They've got a lot of points in there. It's just... a combination of those two is just a hell no. Also, these are just strength dupes. There's no real point. You can... I mean, strength is completely obliviated by improved carry. Improved carry just makes strength pointless. There's only a few tasks that actually benefit from strength, like cleaning the toilets, but... well, we've automated toilets. We don't need to worry about cleaning them. This is just about done. Actually, let's hook this up now. That's going to take a little bit of water, but it's fine. We could delete that pipe there. Oh, I don't have pliers installed, though, so we drop a blob of clean water down there. It's not worth the cleanup difficulties. And the fact that this is running just a little bit inefficiently kind of slows down water consumption as well. Well, it makes sure that there's definitely water sent up there to our power production. I think that works out okay. It'll take a while before it gets up to reasonable levels. There's only 37 kilos, but there should be more than enough to keep our science going. Which reminds me, I think our science has actually... yep, we've completed Radwell generators. Now, I'm thinking next up... ooh, I would like to get my hands on the Spacefarer module, but I think the more important one is Steam Engine. The reason we want Steam Engine is... well, the other 2 rockets just suck. I've been doing some testing on the side, and the other 2 rockets can only take a small amount of stuff, and Steam is... okay, not perfectly easy to make, but at least it's easy enough to make. Getting our hands on the CO2 and all of that was going to be problematic. So instead, we'll knock out this and we'll knock out the steam rockets. It's going to take us a little bit of time to do both. And this one has one that doesn't require the material studies science, which we haven't quite actually set up yet. Oh, yeah, there was that, wasn't there? Okay, let's set up our material study science over here using the wart seeds. Why have we only got 4 wart seeds? Where's our 5th wart seed, people? I could have sworn I told you guys to get 5 of them. Yeah, I looked all over, and then I realized they must have just sent it as I was going back, or as I was going across to the planet, because it's actually here. There's 5 of them here. It's fine. Alright, we're going to use wart seeds because Wheeze warts generate rads. So I'm thinking down here somewhere looks good. We're almost ready to start this up. Well, not quite. What we want to do here is put the Wheeze warts in here and contain the radiation as far away from our duplicants as possible. Now, normally I didn't care so much about the radiation of Wheeze warts, but considering the ramp up in radiation and the cranked up difficulty level, radiation is pretty dangerous to our duplicants. You know what? Let's just mop that up. Can we mop that up really quickly? We have, unfortunately, ran into some complications because of the difficulty. We'll find out here when Sexy goes and drops off the resources, which is... how much did they drop off? 27 kilos of phosphorite. Turns out when it comes to phosphorite, we have a grand total of 58.8 kilos of phosphorite lying around the place. Not a lot. Each Wheeze wart requires 4 kilos of phosphorite per cycle. And on Contralia here, we have no phosphorite whatsoever. They have just none of it. Meaning we don't have phosphorite on our starting planets. Well, that's awkward, but we do have Wheeze wart seeds and we do have pips. So I'm thinking we try wild planting a few pips in here. I think it might work. I mean, you'd never know. If we can wild plant, say, 3 of them, it would definitely make our lives a lot easier. So I'm saying we set this up for pips, set this up for level 9, and let's wrangle ourselves up something that's going to do some planting for us. You're 83, so yeah, we'll wrangle you up. Hopefully we should be able to get 3 of them wrangled in here, or 3 wart seeds planted before it bugs out. They only plant a certain amount in a small enough area, so I think, though, we can get 3 in right there. Oh, that reminds me, I should probably kill everything in the surrounding neighborhood. Otherwise, that might interfere with it. You know what? You can all go. It's a pity, but needs must and all. Oh, and while that is going on, our telescope is finished. It'll say area. See the way it says area complete right there. So done. And if we check on the star map, we have access to 2 new planets. Whatever. The Moo planet, basically. We don't want to go there. We don't need to go to the Moo planet. Damn it. We've also got access to Ikeo, which is not terrible. This is going to give us reed fiber. There's no oil as far as I can tell, and there won't be any lead because there's no oil biome, but we might be able to get reed fiber, and reed fiber would be very handy. Also, look at all those volcanoes, which we can't take advantage of because we don't have plastic to make steam turbines. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if we want to settle down there. The thing is, if we go there, it's going to take us an awful lot of time to build up. I think we might prefer to hold out for an oil biome. Though, setting someone down just to get 1 reed fiber seed might be an idea. Yeah, go down and grab a reed fiber seed, but don't stay, and then we want to start sending out a spaceship to explore. Yeah, I'm thinking that's our best bet so far. Pity there was nothing. Pity what we were looking for wasn't there. Oh, yeah, you can go. And over here, yeah, we're going to see what happens when we put in the pip. And we're going to let those wart seeds loose. Next, we're going to use a few tricks. We've just dropped off the pip, and then what we've done is we've locked the door behind us. No one's allowed in or out. And then what we've done is we've stuck down some ladder segments, which can't ever get delivered. The reason being no one can get into the room. Oh, you wanna go play with the container. I get you. Okay, we're going to make that container empty. Good. Now, we've put in these ladder segments here, but no one can get to them. But the pip won't try and plant in those because technically there's a building in the way. So it should only be able to plant in that one farm tile. And then once it's planted in that one farm tile, we'll cancel this ladder segment and it should plant in the next and the next. Well, that's the theory. Go on, do your pip thing. Oh, and gate activation. I heard that one. Let's see what we got. I think what we kind of want now is someone who's good at rocketry and science, so we can get a space scientist. None of these really fit the bill, so we'll just take the arbor acorn. We can use it for later. Now, come on, Pip. Do your planting thing. Or can you even plant in that farm tile? Oh. They did it. Oh, yeah. Should have made natural tiles first, shouldn't I? God damn it. I'm an idiot. Alright, we did the whole making a natural tile using deconstructing a door trick again. The same one we used to get the tile over here. And now we're going to see if the pip will, well, plant in those 3 tiles. That should give us more than enough rads to start our material research. Are you? Come on. Damn things, they remind me of cats. They're just so unpredictable. Right, now that should be able to shoot rad bolts all the way up that direction, which means, yeah, we should be able to stick another material study terminal right about there. Yeah, I'm thinking right about there should be good. That reminds me, I have to finish off the automation as well on this. But, yep, that could wait. We'll finish that off there, deconstruct that. I made a minor mistake and I put a ladder segment in there, but we corrected things, and now we've managed to get 2 Wheeze warts down. That's giving us 615 rads in that location, which is far superior to space. And once this one goes down, or come on, are you going to do a 3rd one? I think they should be able to get off a 3rd one. If they can get off a 3rd one, that should put us about 700 or 800 rads. Well, that's the hope. And up here, we kind of moved the material study terminals just a bit because we want to sort of do a little bit of automation here to make things handier on ourselves. That can go there, that can go there. Oh, and we can get rid of all of that. Reason being is a little bit of automation to close and prioritize doors. I think it'll all become clearer as we go along. Oh, how would you look at that? You've managed to put in 3 Wheeze warts there, and let's see what it's looking like. That's looking like 912 rads. I think we should get up to about 14 or 1500 rads if we could get another 2 in there, but unfortunately we can't. We'll cancel you, and I think we'll leave that locked. It's a little bit too dangerous to be letting anyone in there, considering it's 700 rads in places. Oh yeah, let's just leave it locked. That pip can stay there. That's their new home. Oh, actually, wait, we're going to have to take the top off this. You know what? Once we take the top off, we can then capture it. All right, let me just do a few other little bits and bobs here. We want to make sure we have ways for the rads to get in and out. Ooh, look at that. The pip planted another one. What are we up to? We are up to 1200. I should have... Oh, yeah, but that's an actual farm tab. We can't afford the phosphorus on that, but that does put us at... If I had made that natural, that would have been 1200 rads for free. Never mind. You live and you learn. That just means that we're going to run out of phosphorite in a bit and we're going to lose those extra rads. But for now, I'm thinking we start working on this. We're going to open up those so that the rad bolt generator, when we turn it on, can start firing rad bolts up there. And we're going to put in a little scooch of automation right here. It should be fairly straightforward. This building here can hold 100 rad bolts. And what normally happens is you fire rad bolts in with a rad bolt generator, but then what happens is it overflows and you have too much rad bolts coming through because you're not using it or something along those lines, and you need to turn it off. So these things now have send out a green signal when they're full of rads, which is good. Then what we want to do is put a NOT gate on that. And what this allows us to do is when this thing is full of rads, it will send a green signal out, which we can turn into a red signal, which will turn off the rad bolt generator, which means we won't be generating any rads. At the same time, I want to lock this door. See, this door is going to allow everyone in and out of here, and if we lock that, then no one will be able to get in here anymore once this is full. And instead, they will only be able to get out. And that means any overflow rads should hopefully end up here, where our duplicants will totally be allowed to go in and out whenever they want, and we'll make this a higher priority. We'll make this level 8, make this a level 7, which means the rad bolts from here will fill both of these machines, and our dupes will prioritize going to this one. And then the moment they go in here and this goes below 100 rads, our dupes will, well, prefer to go up to the top one, and this thing will start charging to fire more. So this sort of acts as our storage, and this is our overflow. Hopefully it'll make more sense as we go along. Yeah, see, they can get in and out that way so long as the... They can always get out that way, but they can't. They can only get in this way. Well, the automation signal is now connected. This has enabled, and this is going to start firing rad bolts up this direction. I think we'll set this to about 100. The reason I want to set this to 100 is 100 fills the machine, but there will be some decay on the way there. So what'll happen is it shouldn't fill this machine fully on the first blast. We don't want to fill it perfectly, because if we fill it perfectly, there'll be no overflow. Things get confusing. I'll cover more on that later. But what should this mean? What this should mean is that even if a duplicant's not using it, this will have about 99 point something rad bolts, and then the overflow will come through the next time, fill this machine up, and then dump about, another 60 in there. Oh, and damn it. I want to make sure no one else goes in there now. I think we've swept all that place out. Perfect, so no one else is allowed in or out. Yeah, door's done. Perfect. How did you get so many rads into you? Absorbed rad dose. Ooh. Yeah, I suppose working near this thing will do that to you. What's the rads looking like? Yeah, that's pretty nasty. Oh, 190 rads. I think we'll just brick that up a little bit more. The more igneous rock, the better. And how are we looking over here? 21 rads for anyone using this device. Oof. Ooh. We might want to actually just brick this in. That might be a smarter plan. It's just the amount of rads that's the person there is getting is kind of high. No, they'll be fine. Probably. Maybe. We'll do a quick sweep anyway, get all the stuff out of here, make it nice and clean, and then once that first rad bolt hits, we'll be able to start studying. And while that's going on, we've got a gate printing. What do we got? Excavation. Oh, wow. That's a lot of excavation. Don't get me wrong, there's no way we're taking them, but that's still an impressive amount of excavation, despite the undigging, which gives them a -3. Oh, that is just so pointless. We'll take the blossom seeds. Now, when it comes to food, we've made a few changes down here. Reason being, we've got access to berry sludge now. If you combine bristle blossoms and sleet wheat grain, you get berry sludge. Berry sludge is immortal. It never goes off. So these 4 kilos they just never die. Very handy for space travel, though we're going to need to probably bring fish with us on space travel to deal with all the rads we're going to be dealing with. Oh, yeah, there's going to be some nasty stuff when it comes to that. But you'll notice under food, we've got pickled meal, berry sludge, bristleberry, lettuce, barbecue, and cooked fish. It's just because we're dribbling in a slow amount of barbecue because the eggs are only just starting to hatch now. Like if we check on these, you can see most of them are not actually there yet. Wait a minute. 22, 26, 29, 34. Oh, never mind. We'd have to go way down through them. It's because it takes 20 cycles for the first egg to go into hatch. And we sort of were killing all of them. And we're just kind of getting to the point where barbecue is going to start kicking in for us again. As for these... Ooh, you know what? It's time to put down some tiles here. What's going to happen here is these critters in here are going to start hatching, and we're going to have nowhere to put them. The reason we're going to have nowhere to put them is, well, all of our ranches are now full. There's 8 of 8, 8 of 8, 8 of 8, and this one is set to 7. I'm not sure how many pips we can feed on the 2 trees we've got in here, so I've set this to that number. Do we need wood? Actually, no, we don't need wood. And bristle blossom-wise, we're probably going to need to put in some more, but for now, we sort of have a good blend and mix of foods, and we should be okay. And for sleet wheat grains, we're getting them from back here from the raw growth. As in, there is some sleet wheat that's growing around here, and our duplicants go along and harvest it every so often. There's some in here that I'm not touching because at some point we're going to want to grow our own sleet wheat, and when that happens, I'd prefer to make sure we definitely have a bunch of these around. And wow, there is so much sleet wheat around here. Nope. not going to get greedy. We are going to stick to the plan, get material science research up and running. All right, the rad bolt generator is about to go off. Let's maybe check out what happens when that goes off. It takes 100 rad bolts before it launches because we set it to that. The minimum is 50. The maximum is 500. But firing 500 bolts up there would be pointless because, well, it would fill this machine and that machine and then hit the wall on the opposite side. In fact, about 203 or 204 bolts should cover both of these machines. But we don't want to kind of do that. And the reason we've stuck it there is, boom, it hits that. It's right in there. That's the actual input for the machine. And you'll see now we've got 99.3 rad bolts in there. That's because we lost 0.7 of a rad bolt in travel time. So we'll lose about another 0.7 going up to there as well. But it's fine. Now it's going to charge up again and fire. Now the reason we put it so far down here is because we don't want our duplicants going anywhere near this place because of the radiation. And at the same point, well, if that rad bolt intersects with a duplicant, it will do a bunch of damage to them. So that's why we don't want our duplicants going anywhere near this area over here or this area over here. So the furthest our dupe should ever go is to here, just to actually operate the terminal. Which means our duplicant should be safe from getting interfered with the rad bolt shots, and at the same time we're able to generate enough rads to do a reasonable amount of science with it. Which reminds me, I think I changed our research over to desalination. Let's go back up here. I'd like to get started on building the bases for a steam engine, so we're going to need 20 points of that. And the way this works out is, well, it looks like we have 99 points in here. That's actually 9.9. Every 10 points of rad bolts you get in here gives you 1 research. So this actually gets kind of interesting. So that means this only takes 200 rad bolts worth of science to complete. But say if you get onto the further end ones, say, where is nuclear? Actually, nuclear is pretty cheap. Ooh, that could generate an awful lot of... No, we can't afford to build... Can we build a reactor? No, sticking to the plan. Sticking to the plan. We're doing steam engines. Steam engines are what we are going to do. One quick change here because my brain eventually started working and I realized how dumb this idea was. The dumb idea was I thought, hey, once this is full of rads, we shut the door so that no one can get in here and everyone will be forced to go up there until that's empty. The problem is when this is empty, nothing will change, so they still won't be able to get in here. Yeah, I saw the kind of problem with that. Well, all I'm going to do is just delete those there because what will happen here is this is going to set to priority 7, this is set to priority 8, which means they'll go up to here first, and then they'll go to here second. And if at any point they stop what they're doing here, well, actually, we could maybe turn them off a bit. Oh, what are we doing? You can be auto, and you can also be, you know what, we'll allow everything there as well. Done. All right, well, that's going on. One last thing. Well, since I was saving up all the CO2 to put into rockets, but now we're not going to be using them in rockets, I think it's time we sort of got rid of the CO2 and stopped it being a problem. Also, did free up some space for those rusty oxidizers to start working. So I'm thinking we put down a little CO2 scrubber down here. This should be a fairly quick fix. All we're doing is we're throwing down 1 carbon skimmer, 1 water sieve, and the 2 of them have a nice little symbiotic relationship where the polluted water this spits out gets sieved and dumped right back into it. And it just keeps killing all the carbon dioxide. It does cost us sand, but I think we can live with that. And Martinus learned his skill point. Excellent, that can go straight into improved carry. It's just that improved carry is so useful. Ooh, I kind of want to get... you know, I think I'm going to eat the... Yeah, bite the bullet on that one. Let's get straight into demolition for them. The reason I don't get construction very often is the only one that's any good is the last one here, which allows you to demolish gravitas buildings. This one just gives you higher construction skill, which is not really that useful. So, gravitas monument, you can go. Oh, annoying electric display that was getting in the way, you can be demolished. Robotics research desk, gone. Strange arm, gone. Oh, and there we go. Zap is actually using the research bench. Excellent. And that thing is still complete. Ooh, I think they're going to actually go through the rads. Oh, wow. What is your research skill, for the love of God? 21? You have 21 in science. Well, I suppose 12 for your skill, plus 3 for quick learner, and an extra 6 points for all the fields you're specialized in. Yeah, good job. I think while we're waiting for more rad bolts to generate, we might want to just start some research in a few other things that doesn't require it. Like, oh, yes, this. We're going to want these radiation suits at some point in the future, so we'll get all the prerequisite tech knocked out. One quick thing we want to do here is just turn this sucker on, liquid bridge, and we're just going to bridge on a little bit of water. We don't want too much, just enough to get this sucker started. And then once it's done, we can delete that bridge and reverse the flow. Oh, no, I should probably make that a level 6. There's a whole bunch of deconstruction commands I've queued up just to get rid of all the old buildings belonging to Veritas. We don't want them interfering with things. Ah, here we are. Perfect. This is not going to be... Oh, 1 second. Liquid pipe. No, give me liquid bridge. Excellent. Deconstruct. Make that a level 9. This is not going to be super fast about doing these things. It consumes carbon dioxide at 300 grams a second, though, which is pretty good. Not quite as good as a gas pump, but it's just going to sit here forever doing that, and we won't have to worry about it. As long as we just keep feeding it power, it'll keep working. Someone want to maybe put something in that? Oh, yeah, once you get the first dose in, I'll turn down the level, but there we go. We'll make that level 6. Done. And all the carbon dioxide will be dealt with. Alright, we can delete this bridge and reverse it, and that will just dump the water back onto the system. There we go. Slowly but surely it'll drain out that pipe. You don't want to be leaving those things lying around. They'll get in the way. Ooh, that's quite a full pipe system. Nah, seems to be going. That will take care of most of our CO2 problems, or at least prevent them from getting any worse. At the same time, how are we doing on the Radbolt front? Ooh, excellent. That actually fired. I can change research again. I keep flicking back and forth between researches. I know that seems silly, but excellent. There's just 1 point left to go on that, and we can do steam rockets. I think we're going to start building it in here. If we could build it outside of the radiation, inside of an oxygen environment, that might actually save us a bunch of hassle. But with that done, let's grab this one. No, don't go anywhere. Yeah, that's right. Stay right there. They just eat through those Radbolts, though. Jesus. We're going to need more rads. Over here, I'm thinking we put in a steam engine right here. We can put in the base of it, fill it up, and then build the top out. And hopefully make a way in and out of our base that's not, well, we'll see as we go. You see, right now, we don't have any way of really being out in space and providing ourselves with oxygen. And, well, we do have one way. We could make ourselves these masks. Where are they? Oh, wow, I realized I never researched them. We can get the oxygen mask docks. Should we get them? No, I think we're going to stick with the current plan, which is actually build the rocket silo sort of inside and then expand it out as we go. Or like, basically we'll just have very short travel time between oxygen and the rocket. That should hopefully help things out. Though we will have to worry about the rocket exhaust, which is why we're going to build this sort of insulated tile spear beneath it, just to stop any of the gases from getting into our base, or any of that heat from leaking into our base. While that's going on, we'll have a quick stop down at the gate to see how we're doing, and... oh, 3 hatchling eggs. They would have been really handy a while back. Science and piloting, but unconstructive. Cannot do building errands. I mean, we were asking for one. Please welcome to the team, Tugboat. Tugboat is going to be, well, our space-based scientist, probably doing a bunch of exploration. Life expectancy, I don't want to make any promises on that. But we'll see. For now, I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to hold off on giving them any skill points at all. I'm not even sure what I'm going to want to get them into. Probably those. Yeah, all of these. You know what, straight into science. Science is going to help you get better and help us out in the long run. One other thing we need to do is get our hands on more iron so we can make more steel. So for that, we need rust. The problem is there's a whole bunch of rust down here, but gaining access to it is a little bit difficult. Namely, it can only be dug by one of our dupes, and that is basically Mellington. I'm thinking we're going to make a quick change here, and Brendan? Yeah, I think we're going to bring Brendan back home. They can just be more useful back home. Right now they're doing nothing over here. So Brendan, go on, buddy, head on back. Yeah. They'll be over the other side in a minute. Now, one thing we also have done is we're going to move all our bedrooms up here. I want to try and consolidate things down. This can all go, and we're going to change this so that we put a light right there. The reason being, this duplicate over here, Mellington is, they can't sleep in the dark. What we can do, and this was recommended in the comments, is just put a light at the very edge of your base, or very edge of the door, and that will actually light up the first bed, but not any of the others, meaning that duplicate there is just fine. So we'll just make sure this one is assigned out to Mellington. Perfect. And then we'll just, deconstruct that cot, deconstruct that light. Perfection. More beds. Everything's sorted, and I think, you know what, we can get rid of these plants in here. Yeah, some pips got in there, and I kind of left them because I like the look of them. But we'll dig up those plants, we'll replace them with that, and we should probably at some point start replacing all the tiles around here so we get better decor. But that can wait for just a little bit longer. I think we're just about ready to start building our rocket. We have finally knocked out that last piece of research, and that is durable life support. So, and steam rockets. So we've got steam rockets and we've got the Spacefarer module. I'm thinking next up we should probably get solar panel modules and battery modules. Those would be very helpful. After that, I think the rest is just additional stuff that would be nice, but not absolutely vital. Like, I would like glass forges at some point as well. But not going to worry about that just yet. We'll let them do what they're doing on that research front. And then what we'll do up here is we're going to dig out some space for the steam rocket. Can we actually build that and will it? Nope, won't overlay. And materials unavailable. It requires 2 tons of steel? Oh, come on. This one can be made out of what? Let me check what sort of resources we're going to need to put into these. Turns out we're going to need 2 tons of steel to make that sucker. That's kind of expensive. Plus, we're also going to need to make an aqua tuner to boil the steam. We've no way of really boiling steam unless we want to run it through, say, well, we could run it through this hot stuff down here. But how are we going to get the steam from all the way down here all the way to up there without cooking some other part of our base or condensing it, or it's just transferring that much heat with the materials we have? Not really that viable. So, I'm thinking rusty oxidizer in space. We deliver the rust, we deliver the salt to it, and it'll just vent its junk into the atmosphere and give us more iron faster. We need a lot more iron. We've got about 1.2 tons so far, but we can get more. And down here, I'm thinking, how much rust do we have? Oh, there's not a lot more. Ooh, there's a massive vein. How did I miss that? You have got to go. Perfect. That will sort us out for a little bit more rust. Oh, and we've been sending hatches over from the other planet by accident. But hey, they're wild hatches, so they'll never die. Or, what am I saying? They're not tame, so that means we could just leave them there and they'll just keep dropping meat every 100 cycles or so. And in here, yep, that gives us a whole bunch more rust. I'm thinking we'll be good for 6.5 tons of rust. Perfect. That should give us more than enough iron. That means we just need some sort of refinement. And refinement-wise, oh, Evolution Chamber has actually come online. That means barbecue should start rolling in right about now. That's going to be nice. I say we only need a few rounds of it, so we could dump some heat in this maybe. Or actually, this here is a metal refinery. Now, normally what you try and do is rotate through a coolant and then treat the coolant and put the coolant back in. But I'm thinking we just need to do about... I'll have to do the math on it to figure out exactly how much iron ore we're going to need, because when it comes to making steel, there's a little bit of a quirk here. You need 10 kilos of lime, 20 kilos of refined carbon, which means you only need 70 kilos of iron ore to make 100 kilos of steel. We're definitely fine on the refined carbon and lime. We've got loads of that stuff lying around the place. So we should be able to crank this up. The thing is the temperature increase. This will increase the temperature of water by 56 degrees for every batch we make. So I think what we do is we run the iron through, and then we dump it all the coolant right back in here, let the temperature stabilize out, and then we should be able to just, when we're running this one, run the water through it, add the 56 degrees, which will probably put it close to its boiling point, and then just dump it into space. As in, destroy it in the vacuum of space. That way we don't have to worry about the heat. Otherwise, we would have to, well, dump it down in here somewhere, which could happily eat the heat, but that would be annoying considering the power distance we'd have to run. This thing is a 1.2 kilowatt power eater, so I'd prefer to keep it close to our power spine, if at all possible. And that leaves us closer to space and this little pool of water that just happens to be so convenient. Anyway, I am out of time for today. I think next up it's going to be Steam Rocket, making an aqua tuner in water to fuel the steam rocket, and then mounting a telescope and a few other bits and bobs in there. Actually, let's see, how much does this cost? Yeah, that can be made with other resources. We're going to stick a spacefarer module on straight away, stick in a telescope and go scouting. And the question is, where do we go scouting? You see, we'll have about a 10-tile range on our steam rocket, and I'm thinking if we say go this direction, we can go 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I think the best route is 1, 2, 3, 4, and that will allow us to scan that, and then 5, 6, which will get us, well, actually 5, 6, and that will get us 1, 2, 3, which allows us to get that one, and 7, 8, 9, 10, which allows us to get home. That will allow us to do these 3, whatever they are, all at once, whereas any other method only gets us 2. But that is for the next episode. I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck.